Matt Spicer in the chair, obviously. How was it to break into feature filmmaking from short films? Was it a difficult transition, or did you lean comfortably into it?
I think it was probably harder because I've been a screenwriter for the last 10 years. So, but this is my first thing that's gotten made. And so that was kind of, which is intentional of like, I was tired of writing scripts that didn't get made. And so I was like, well, I guess I just have to start directing them. But the short film was great as sort of a calling card and sort of a way to show people that, I can direct something. And then, but I think it's harder to say I'm a writer and then go from being I'm a writer to I'm a director. People like to put you inside of a little box kind of. And so once they see you as one thing, it's hard to get them to see you as something else. So that was, I think, the biggest challenge.
For your first movie, you worked with such great talent, like Aubrey Plaza and Elizabeth Olsen. How was it to work with them on your debut?
Really intimidating, but they were both couldn't have been nicer and more helpful. And Aubrey was a producer also, so I really felt like she was invested in the film and was looking out for me. Making sure I knew she wasn't going to let me fail completely. And yeah, I mean, it's so rare that you get your first choices for the parts. Usually you make a list and you get your fifth or sixth choice down the list, but they were both my top choices. So it was, I was like waiting for something really horrible to happen. Where's the catch here?
Yeah. And were they excited to be in the movie?
No, I think they were. I think they were both excited. I think Lizzie was excited to get to show her comedic side, which she usually doesn't get to utilize, and Aubrey, I think, was excited to sort of do more dramatic stuff that she usually does the comedy thing, and so I think she was excited to show her range,
And I read somewhere that both actors, you encouraged them to contribute to the story and their characters.
Yeah.
Even rewriting the script in places. Do you enjoy that kind of collaboration?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was the Halloween party scene is a good example because that was like one the night before they came to me and saying like, I think this should play out differently, and we kind of all sat down and hashed it out together, and I love that. I mean, to me, it's something like if film is such a collaborative thing that it's like, and when you're there with two great actresses, you'd be silly not to listen to their ideas. So I think, especially me being a first timer, so. I'm still learning just like everybody else,
Now, the film obviously tackles social media and its more immoral or slightly evil parts of social media. Did the film come out of your own disenchantment with that world?
Slightly. I mean, I think it was more, to me, it was less about social media itself, because to me, social media is just a tool, right? It's really about us and how we're using it and how we're choosing to use this technology that's in front of us, and I think there's a tendency, and I'm guilty of it as much as anybody else, to get entranced by something that you see online and miss what's happening in real life, and I think that was sort of the difference between, the digital reality and actual reality. I think we wanted that. There's a sort of gulf there that we wanted to explore and show both sides of it. To me, I'm like, you could make the movie 40 years ago, this basically the same movie, and it would be about television or something. It would be about some different medium, and the story would be the same, I think. And hopefully there would be something else 40 years from now.
You talk about reality and the social media reality and things like that. I think some of the greatest scenes in the film are with Ingrid and Dan,
right.
Especially their first date and everything.
Right.
And it shows a real side to Ingrid that we hadn't seen in previous scenes because she's so engrossed in social media. Do you think that social media clouds the reality of people as individuals?
I think there's this tendency that we want to cut out all the ugly parts of our life, right? And just put the good parts out there. And I think the irony is that social media is there to connect us, but the things that really connect us are the things that we don't want to show other people, right? And so it's like usually when you relate to somebody else, it's, oh, we shared the same embarrassing thing happened to us or whatever. It usually comes from a place of pain or vulnerability or something that connects you with other people. So if we're hiding that from each other, then we're really not connecting, So that's, I think, the irony that I wanted to show, especially with that scene, is that like they're both showing, they both come from the same place of pain. They both lost people, and that's what actually binds them together in that scene.
And do you think regular social media users would see themselves in Ingrid?
Probably in ways maybe they wouldn't want to admit, but I think there's parts of myself that I think are similar to Ingrid, or the parts, darker parts of myself that if I didn't have the sort of angel on my shoulder saying like, maybe don't do that, that I think, I think Ingrid is that side of she's like our id that's just completely let off the leash and running rampant in LA. So, yeah, just got to keep that part of yourself just, tamped down.
Yeah. And in the experience of making the movie, has it made you concerned about your own social media habits?
It hasn't changed them that much, but yeah, I mean, I would say it definitely hasn't encouraged me to become more active on social media. I'm sort of just like happy where I am, just staying at that,
And O'Shea Jackson Jr. is a brilliant presence in the film. I
he's
think
awesome.
He's very funny. He also reminded me, his character reminded me, because I went to film school, and he reminded me a lot of people I went to film school with.
Oh, really?
And knowing that you went to USC, is the character inspired by some of the people you met there?
If anything, he's probably more inspired by me. Probably, I love Batman, and so it was easy to write the Batman stuff. And I think he definitely has that air though, of that like kind of like film nerdy kind of quality. I guess that's the best answer I can give.
How are you enjoying the festival so far?
It's great. I wish I had more time to see movies, which is how I always feel at these things. Is like I'm like in and out, or I'm working the whole time. I don't get to see any movies, but it's been great. The audiences have been really awesome, and they ask great questions, and it's really fun.
And you're enjoying London, being in London?
Yeah, I love London. I was just saying to my girlfriend last night, I was like, we should like live here for 3 months or something. I feel like that you need time to really see everything and really experience it.
Finally, because the aspect of social media is so strong in this film, are you planning on tackling similar concepts in future movies you make?
It's funny, I was just thinking, there's a couple books that I'm adapting that hopefully one of which will be the next thing, and they both kind of deal with technology in different ways. So I think, not necessarily social media, but I am really interested in technology and how it's affecting our lives, and, it's changing so quickly, and it's hard to just keep up with it and see how, track how it's changing our society, So that is a subject that's really interesting to me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much
so
for
nice
meeting with me.
Yeah,
It's nice to meet you too. Thank you very much. I really like it.
Oh, thanks, man.